Hello, hope you're okay. Today I just want to have a bit of a chat really all about rosacea. Rosacea is a skin concern that I've got. I was diagnosed with it last year. It's basically like redness in the skin that can manifest in loads of different ways. So for me, it's flushing and sometimes it can be quite angry, red, raised skin. At the time, I made a video all about my regime and what I was using, and to be honest, it hasn't massively changed since, so that's why I haven't really spoken about it since. But over the course of time, I've been trying other different bits that are really good for rosacea. I've kept my routine really simple and haven't messed about with it, and it's really helped the redness to get under control. So I just thought I'd share a few suggestions because it's turned into something that I'm talking about every day and that I'm getting a lot of messages about. So even though it's much of the same, I just thought it might be worth just recapping on it a little bit. So I'm going to start with cleansers. I've been using this La Roche-Posay Effaclar H Cleanser every day. It's a cleansing milk. It's like, well, not a milk, it's kind of like a cream. And I've been using my hands to rub in and just melt everything off. It takes more effort than a usual cleanser. If you've got your rosacea, you're likely going to need to cut out fragrance wherever possible, go for really rich textures, things that are a bit softer on your skin. So it's not as simple and quick as a cleansing oil. You're going to have to put a little bit more effort in, but it'll be worth it. Like, I have been using this regime for just over, I don't know, like a good bit over 6 months, and the redness has significantly reduced in my skin, so it's worth sticking with. So anyway, you've got your cleansing cream. You've got to quite take your time with it, patience, take your makeup off. It will get everything off. I use something separate for my eyes. Speaking of La Roche-Posay, their micellar water is brilliant. It will get all your eye makeup off and it won't irritate your eyes. It'll get all your face off. Fantastic. Depending on what I've got on, I might tend to use a separate eye makeup remover. Couple of other cleansers I'd really recommend are the SVR Makeup Remover Pure and Mild. Again, it's much the same as the La Roche-Posay. It is a cleansing cream. It's very comforting, very rich. Even if you've not got rosacea and you happen to be watching it for this time of year, a really lovely, rich cleanser. And then also you've got your Galenay Facial Foaming Cleanser. As a brand, Galenay they're all about preserving the skin's microbiome. So just to very quickly touch on it, they basically say that they don't really like antibacterial things because you want to preserve good bacteria and have less of the bad bacteria. So we were all about the good bacteria and how important that can be for balancing things like perhaps you have rosacea, psoriasis, dermatitis, flaky scalp, things like that. Generally, as a brand, everything will work well for you if you've the rosacea. This cleanser is actually lovely. It's the foaming facial cleanser for sensitive skin. You wouldn't usually see me recommending anything foaming, but that is a really nice one. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This is just my personal, what I use, what I do. I'm not a doctor, and I would really recommend it because rosacea is a skin, like a diagnosable skin concern. Do see your doctor before you take any of these tips, but this is just what's working for me. Let's be honest, there are nights when you don't have the time and patience to be really gentle with your skin. If I'm having one of those, and I don't do it very often, but I've had a good night out or something, I'm not going to be messing about with my regime like for hundreds of years. I just use a bit of Bobbi Brown cleansing oil. It melts everything off in 2 seconds. It's absolutely great. Also, another thing, speaking of cleansing, is that I was advised just get rid of the flannels. No flannels, no muslin cloths. You just want to use your hands and water. Fine. 99% of the time, that's what I do. If you're having one of those, I just can't be bothered and I need something. Get a really soft cloth. These kind of microfiber type cloths. So this is the Trish McAvoy Makeup Eraser. Really soft, nice little size for getting your face off, and it's not going to be as abrasive as a traditional cloth or muslin cloth. So there we go. Post cleansing, in the mornings, I'm going to use an SPF every single day without fail. I use the La Roche-Posay Anthelios. It's a factor 50. It's a really light, runny consistency. Sits beautifully under your makeup. Spreads really far. I really, really love this. Another one I've got to hand, just if you're a QVC person and you love QVC, I've got Abby Cleeve's Ultra Sun 50 as well. I would just feel really obliged to point out that I've been in the green room with her that many times. She's such a lovely lady. It really makes a difference to me personally. I'm obviously in a really fortunate position where I get to try lots of different products and brands and, you know, report back on what's really working. But if I know someone's absolutely lovely, like there's millions of SPF 50s on the market, let's be honest, but that one's actually made by a really nice person, it just makes me want to share. If that's important to you like it is to me. There's a few more nice people recommendations along the way as well. Anyway, I've gone completely off piste. I'm going to rein us back in to moisturisers. So again, like I said a minute ago, you kind of want everything to be as fragrance free as it can be. Soft, simple, just no fuss, get the job done, and nothing too fancy. Interestingly, when I've been doing my research into this, some of the best remedies I've found happen to be some of the cheapest. So in fact, that'll bring me nicely onto Cerave. As a brand, if you have any redness, rosacea, anything like eczema, anything that you're worried about, this is the most fantastic brand. Everything is simple, effective, very affordable. Look at the size of that. Like, I'm just going to compare it to, and this is no disrespect to any of the brand, like this is another one I've got in my pile of I need to tell you about. Look at the size of that moisturiser, look at the size of that. You can use that on your face and body. Currently, at the time of me making this video, it's under a tenner. I'll tell you a quick story. Just before Christmas, long story short, had a really busy week. So I had QVC. We did a big stint there. I had to take my makeup on and off millions of times. The next thing I'm piled onto a long flight. The next thing I get to New York and it is snowing. Obviously, I'm in New York at Christmas time. I'm going to go for a big long walk and go and look at everything. But then the next morning, obviously the one day I've got to be somewhere and have these videos and pictures taken. My skin was so dry, it was actually flaking off my face. I've never had dryness like it. It was unbelievable. So anyway, I got back to Birmingham and I was like, I need to just up the richness of my moisturiser. I've got to sort this out. 2 days after slotting this in, I wasn't flaking anymore. I've had a lot of questions about this because I put something up about it last night. This is a face and body moisturiser. If you would feel more comfortable with a dedicated facial moisturiser, then the facial moisturising lotion of theirs is fantastic. You can get it with or without an SPF. This is SPF 25, personal preference. I personally would probably get the one without the SPF and then use your separate SPF, and then you could use it twice a day if it didn't have the sun care in there. A few other moisturiser suggestions. I'm very conscious I'm getting a bit close to the bone on time. I'm going to start to speed things up. La Roche-Posay Insensitive Fluid. This is a really lightweight, hydrating fluid. This is what I use day in, day out in the summer. It's just not rich enough in the winter. In the winter, I'm switching to my Cerave. I'm switching to my Hyaluronic Sensitive Cream, which is that same family, but a bit of a richer injection. Now, a brand I really want to put on your radar is Cerave. They are the #1 skincare brand in Japan for sensitive skin, and they've recently come to the UK. They're now in Boots. They're not going to break the bank. Very, very, very nice. This is the Intensive Moisture Facial Cream. They have a lighter consistency moisturiser. I've got over here Makeup Cleansing Gel. Anything I've used from them, I've not been disappointed by. I've actually got the eye cream to hand. This is a really lovely hydrating gel texture of an eye cream, if that's what you're into, or if you like wearing a lot of makeup and want something that's going to absorb quite quickly. As a brand, you're going to get on well with them. While talking about eye creams, the one I seem to be using the most is the Toleraine Ultra from La Roche-Posay. However, over Christmas, I had my Cerave one at home in Birmingham. Absolutely great. Not just saying it, like if you're on a budget, the Cerave stuff's amazing, but budget aside, I'd be recommending it either way. Really, really great. A few other bits. You might like a hyaluronic acid just slotted into your regime if you're starting to feel a bit dry. Hyaluronic acid is an ingredient that holds 1,000 times its own weight in water, and it will really retain moisture. For me, the Pestle and Mortar Hyaluronic Serum is the best one. It is like a big drink of water for your face. I absolutely love it. I've always got this in the cupboard. And just for the record, that'd be another one that I'd look at and think, well, Sonia from Pestle and Mortar is absolutely lovely. And that makes all the difference. So lovely, Irish lady, lovely brand. This is kind of their hero. But again, Pestle and Mortar tends to be quite simple, fragrance-free formulas. They have a brilliant moisturiser, fantastic eye cream. Have a look into them. Just going to quickly touch on Uriage. This is a brand that's recently come to the UK as well. Again, perfect for any redness issues. It's all this same kind of French pharmacy vibe. This is the anti-redness cream. It's a little bit richer. I kind of use this almost as a bit of an acting mask. If I'm having a real mare, I'll think, right, let me try this for the night, and it does tend to do the job. Now, there's a few things that aren't strictly rosacea friendly, to just put a disclaimer on them, but personally speaking from my own experience, they work really well for me. The Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads in the Ultra Gentle, they're fantastic. It's a resurfacing treatment that's got 2 steps. Your first step is a wipe that will resurface and exfoliate. The second step will calm and balance everything after you've done that. Truly, they are exceptional. I find that when I've used them, let's just say if I had used it last night, I haven't. You can see all of that texture on my forehead. It just really, really works on that texture. Like the light would be bouncing off that forehead if I'd used these last night. Murad Nutrient Charged Water Gel is a really, really hydrating gel. It's very gentle. Your makeup sits beautifully over it. This is one of the few things that I will repurchase time and time again. A really, really lovely gel formula. And while I'm talking about it, I'm also going to show you their Prebiotic 4-in-1 multi-cleanser. That's a gel texture, and it's so hydrating as well as doing the job of your cleanse. Fantastic. This costs an arm and a leg, so I'm not going to sit here and skirt about that. Yes, it does. The Zelens Z Matrix Energy and Moisture Infusion. This is one of the best products I've ever used, and I first used it in 2013. We're now on 2020. I've bought this several times. It is truly unbeatable. It's a gel, very hydrating gel, and I find that I don't use it day in, day out because I love it so much. I like to ration it. If I'm having an absolute, oh my gosh, my skin is so dry, it's so red, it's so whatever, a couple of days of this, you feel the complete difference in your skin. It is so incredibly quenched. It just feels so hydrated but not oily in any way, and I can't explain, it almost feels a bit stronger. If your skin's feeling a bit dry, irritated, papery, this will get rid of that and just really strengthen it back up again. Love it. Very quickly, I've got about a minute left. Ceramides. Ceramides are there to repair the skin's barrier. They're going to do an amazing job. Now, the Pixie Rose Ceramide Cream is such a lovely, lovely moisturising, rich cream that just melts into the skin, is quite buttery. And the It Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. If I haven't mentioned to you before, I am a brand ambassador for It Cosmetics, just so that you know the partnership is there. However, this moisturiser is something that I recommend to so many people. It's so rich, buttery, your makeup sits beautifully over it. It is so nourishing, especially in the colder weather. The reason I omitted those from the earlier segment is just because they're both lightly fragranced from the natural ingredients in them, but ceramides are amazing. But anyway, I'm running out of time. Thank you for listening. Please leave any suggestions or comments below, and I'll talk more about rosacea in the next few weeks. I'll speak to you soon.